Good day, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. I'm back with a very long overdue update from Tech Field Day Extra that actually occurred at Cisco Live 2022 in Las Vegas just a few weeks ago. Immediately after the events, I came down with an illness that starts with a C and ends with a 9. And it took a little while for me to sort of get right again. I'm finally starting to feel normal. I have the majority of my voice back and figured, well, this is as good a time as any to get this video out there. So first, I need to thank Tom and Gestalt IT for even inviting me out to the Tech Field Day out there. I was actually at Cisco Live for other reasons, and since I've been a delegate in the past, said, well, if you have some time, why don't you stop in and maybe sit through a session or two? And just the way it worked out, I was only able to attend one session, which ended up being with OpenGear, which I was actually very happy that it was OpenGear because so if you're not familiar with OpenGear, they've been making out of band management products for I think it's since the early 2000s, and for my money, they're pretty much the top of the line. That's who you go to first, or at least that's who I've gone to first anytime that I've been considering out of band management. And to hear what they're doing next it was going to just be fun. So they started out with just sort of the here's Open Gear, here's who we are, and pivoted into the conversation where it was going to be it's a NetOps type conversation or a DevOps conversation. And the first part, so there were two presentations. The first part of the presentation, it was a bit strange for me because it was telling me about NetOps or NetDevOps or all the opses, and I didn't understand how OpenGear honestly was in that picture because we're talking about the journey and how difficult it is to get into automation and all the hurdles that engineers need to go through to get there, and I'm on board for that. But I just didn't understand the open gear play into that arena. Because let's say you're a company and you've got your big automation platform out there. You've already got places that you're launching your automation from. But more than likely, I mean, maybe you don't, but more than likely, you've got, your Ansible tower set up over there, or you've got some sort of robust environment that's already handling your automation. So how does OpenGear get into that? Thought about it for a little while and just couldn't quite answer the question on my own through the first presentation. And then we get into the second presentation, which was more of a demo. So there were two demos in there. One was basically they were showing some automation that can be launched from some of their newer hardware, and then it sort of started to resonate with me to where, okay, you can put a Docker container in there, which is great. You can put a Docker container a lot of places. And when you're automating something, generally speaking, or at least this has been my experience, is that when engineers are getting into automation today, they're doing it from a standpoint of my network is working appropriately. My network is good. It's online. And then that's when it went off. It says, well, wait, does automation have to be only for when your network is operating properly? Why can't automation be there when your network is not working properly? And then that's when I started to get a little bit more friendlier with the idea, or it started to make a lot more sense to me that why not have playbooks for when things aren't running normally, when things aren't going according to plan? And then it made sense. And I said, "Oh, okay, now I get this." So I don't have so the two demos that they had, which I kind of have the slide deck over here to remind me of what those presentations were. But one was essentially sending a command over the console, which was pretty cool. I mean, it was basic, but in a situation like that, all you really need to know for a demo's sake is that you can interact with their box and your console port on your device. And that's where again, that's when it all started to make sense. It's like, oh, this is when that your in-band IPs are gone, your routing is gone. Let's say you lose connectivity to a site and pick a command, like a BGP command, a show BGP command, or anything like that, or maybe you're looking at IPsec tunnels or anything like that, where if you lose that in band, well, you might still need to get some sort of automated data out in an out of band fashion. So now instead of you having to log into that OpenGear device and type those commands in, if you have a way to monitor that and say, okay, it's down, well, let's have this device kick off some of that automation when the network isn't working normally. And that was it. That was the realization where I say, "Okay, I get this play now." It makes complete sense it makes complete sense why you're gonna have out-of-band management to begin with. But then the more you get into automation, the more programmatically enabled your teams get, and just the I don't wanna say the fun, I'm gonna say the fun. The more fun that you have with automation, here's another way to do it. Here's another way to bring automation in to help your team to gather data. And I mean, who knows? Maybe you've got a use case out there where you have a bad internet connection, or you've got a bad ISP out there for whatever reason, and you've got to run some commands and just get some data. Okay, write a Python script. Put the Python script on the box. You have a Docker container with the tools that you need. Put the Docker container on there. Run the automation tools that you need in your out of band network as well. Or maybe not even run the tools that you need, invent the tools that you need in that arena. So, some of the other things that they had talked in there a bit about were the sort of the third party marketplace, the other vendors that they're trying to get into this ecosystem to build out more of the automation on the out of band management side, which I, it didn't. I'm getting excited about it, just kind of replaying it back in my head. But I'm really excited to see what comes out of that, what comes next. It's going to be fun. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be very interesting to see how that ecosystem builds itself out. And hopefully by the next time that I'm having an out of band management conversation, that has been built up a little bit more, because I'd be super eager to see what's been done with it. And I'm definitely going to be keeping in touch with OpenGear and following what they're doing next. But I'll go back to, once I had that realization, it started to get real fun in my head. So that was my take on the OpenGear conversation and what I took out of their two presentations there. And like I said, I'm going to be paying attention, see what they do next, and really keeping my finger on the heartbeat there, because automation, it's becoming important and it's hard to get into. And I think the more places that we have out there that we can do more enhanced things with automation, the better it's going to benefit everyone. So that was a very good job to OpenGear. I really appreciated what they had in there. And that's going to wrap up my video. I don't know when I'll be involved with field day events again. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting an invite for one of them, and bringing more videos and more content like this to everyone who's concerned. So for me, to you, thank you, everyone. Have a good day.